Welcome in. We're going to learn how to use flams and fills. Grab the free sheet music from the link below this lesson and let's get started. We've got 8 examples here, really cool fills. There are millions more. This is just to get you started as always. Let's get stuck into it. So first one, nice and easy. Number 1, it's a flam on the snare drum followed by a bass, playing them as 8th notes, okay? So it's flam, then a bass. So if I do this slowly first of all, okay, and now let's put it with a beat. I'll do an 8 beat, then I'll play it a couple of times. I'll loop that. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Now moving on to example 2. Very, very similar. All we're going to do is we're going to move to flams. So we're still going flam bass, flam bass. Always the first thing you can do with a pattern to vary it is just to orchestrate it differently. So the flams will still work between different drums. And you can even, I mean, here we're playing both hands on the same drum, but you can even split a flam between 2 different drums. So say like your first tom and your snare will sound pretty cool. I've got a slightly unusual setup today on here, but we've got a little 8-inch tom over where you might have your middle tom. So we've got an 8-inch there, a 12-inch, and then a 14-inch. Bit unorthodox. So what I might just do here is what we've got on example 2 is we're going flam on the snare, flam on the high tom, flam on the mid tom, and then on the floor tom. So I might just do that in reverse. So you've got the descending sound. So I'll do flam 8-inch over here, then the mid tom, which is here, then the floor tom. So they're just switched around. But this is just one idea. You can move these however you want. All right. So we're going to go. I'll do it slow and then I'll just go into a beat and show you it quicker. Okay, I just threw in a couple there where I split the flam and just moved around the drums. So one hand on a tom, one on a snare. Just so you can get a vibe, get a bit of a feel for that. But let us move on. So looking at number 3, mixing up the subdivision now. So we've got a flam bass, flam on a snare, then a bass, like we've done in 8th notes. But then we're going to go 40-ander, so 16th notes on the snare. Then we're going to go flam bass, and then 16th notes on the floor tom. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So that's number 3. Now we move on to number 4. Similar theme here, but we're just mucking with the timing a little bit more. So, and you can just approach this like you would sight reading. So get your rhythm first. So let's just count. Number 4, the rhythm goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we look at the drums and the fact we've got flams. It's flam on the snare, then a bass. And then we go 2 and the snare, high tom. So I'll play it on this tom, 12-inch here. And then we're going to go 3 and flam and then 4 and so high tom, mid tom. So slowly we go. All right, moving on to number 5. Now it's disguised here, but there is actually a pattern. So what we're doing, it's if you like a 6-note pattern. It's a beat and a half pattern. So we're going to go 4 16th notes, snare, high tom, floor tom, bass, 1 and. All right, so that's the first 4 notes with the bass, and then we end on a flam, and that's an 8th note. So that lasts for half a beat. So it's a beat and a half because you've got 4 16th notes. That's 1 beat. Then we've got an 8th note flam. That's half a beat. And then it starts again, but because that first one lasted for a beat and a half, the second time it happens, it starts on 2 and. It starts halfway through the beat. So if you look after the flam, on the and there, you've got the same thing again. So it goes snare, high tom, low tom, bass, flam. So it goes digga digga brat, digga digga brat. Same thing twice, but it just looks different because it falls across the beat. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and then we just do 4 E and on the snare to finish it. Right, so I'll count it in. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. 3, 4. 3, 4. I like that one. I like that. If I just play that faster as well. Okay, so quite effective. It's a cool one. But we must push on. We must push on. So looking at number 6. Now this is just using a theme where you do 3 hands, then a bass. So you go 1 E and hand, 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 bass. And we're gonna move that. So you do the first phrase on the snare, then on the high tom, then on the mid tom, and finish with a flam at the end. So the main phrase goes 1 E and And then we just orchestrate that around the toms. So you got 3, you got snare, high tom, floor tom, and then finish with a big flam on beat 4. Okay, cool. And again, you can move that around in loads of different ways to vary it. It's just an idea. And in 7, it extends that idea a bit. So we're going to go flam bass in 16th note. So 1 E and then we do the phrase we just did. So 3 snares and a bass. Then it does it again. Flam bass, and then 3 snares and a bass. So 3 E and a, 4 E and a. I didn't mean to do it that quick, so I'll do it a bit slower. And then finally, this looks harder because it's more broken, but basically what we're going is flam, flam, bass, bass. And that's the phrase. Flam, flam, bass, bass. You can see the 16th note rest between the basses. You go 1, so you go 1 and a 2 E. 1 and a 2 E. Then it does it again. So like we did with number 5. Yeah, it's number 5. It repeats a phrase, but because it lasts for, effectively it's a beat and a half again, it falls differently over because it goes across the beat. Okay, so we go 1 and a 2 E and 3 E and happens twice, and then we just finish with brat boom, flam bass. So his last 4 notes are just finishing off. So that first phrase we do twice. 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then we finish with flam bass. I'll put it together. 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Well done, you made it to the end of the lesson. You've learned all 8 fills using flams. There's loads more than this. Grab the sheet music, there's a free link below this in the description, and on there you've got that space where you can write in your own fills as well, so you can get creative, because there's millions more you can make up. If you like this, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.